Inside a small chapel in New Zealand, away from cameras and crowds, a quiet gathering is taking place to say goodbye to one of the most respected actors of his generation. There are no red carpets, no flashing lights, and no speeches designed for an audience. Just family, close friends, and a few colleagues who knew him not only as a star, but as a man who valued peace over praise. Sam Neill died at the age of 78 on July 13, 2026, in a private hospital in Sydney, Australia. His family described his passing as sudden and unexpected, though he had recently completed treatment for a rare and aggressive blood cancer, and had publicly shared in April that he was cancer-free. He was surrounded by loved ones in his final moments, and those closest to him have said he left the world with the same dignity and lack of fuss that characterized his life. No detailed cause of death has been released, and his family has asked for privacy as they process the loss. The funeral itself is being held in New Zealand, the country he called home, and where he felt most at peace. Only a small circle of relatives and friends is present, in line with his long-stated wish to avoid large public ceremonies. There will be no public memorial service, no state-level event, and no organized fan gatherings. For someone who spent decades in front of global audiences, the farewell is intentionally intimate. A private ceremony, a quiet committal, and a chance for those who knew him best to say their goodbyes without the world watching. That decision fits the person many came to admire. Sam Neill built a career that took him from New Zealand farms to Hollywood blockbusters, yet he never embraced the glamour that often comes with that kind of fame. He spoke openly about disliking life in Los Angeles, about preferring the quiet of his vineyard and farm over parties and premieres, and about seeing show business as a job, not an identity. In interviews, he described his true home as his land in New Zealand, where he could work with his hands, tend to vines, and escape the noise. The family's choice to hold a private funeral in that country, with no media coverage, is a final act of respect for that worldview. His legacy stretches far beyond one role, even if one character defined him for many viewers. As Dr. Alan Grant in Jurassic Park, he became the steady, intelligent center of a film that changed blockbuster cinema. He brought a grounded, human quality to a story about dinosaurs and chaos, making the impossible feel believable. That performance alone would have secured his place in film history, but his body of work is much larger. Over more than 100 films and television projects, he moved between genres and countries with ease. Period dramas, thrillers, comedies, and local New Zealand stories that rarely reached global audiences but meant a great deal at home. Colleagues remember him as generous on set, uninterested in hierarchy, and willing to treat every crew member as an equal. Directors have spoken about his calm professionalism, his dry humor, and the way he could lift the mood on difficult shooting days without making a show of it. Co-stars have recalled long conversations between takes, not about fame or strategy, but about books, landscapes, and the peculiar weight of being known by millions while trying to live a normal life. For many, working with Sam Neill felt less like sharing a set with a star, and more like collaborating with a grounded, thoughtful friend, who happened to be very good at his job. New Zealand, his impact goes deeper than film credits. He supported local arts, championed homegrown storytelling, and used his profile to draw attention to environmental and cultural causes important to the country. He was not the kind of celebrity who attached his name to every campaign, but when he did speak, people listened. He understood the power of his platform and used it selectively, often steering attention back to the land, the people, and the stories that mattered most to him. That quiet advocacy is part of why tributes from leaders and artists in the region have been so heartfelt. They are mourning not just an actor, but a guardian of a certain way of life. Within the small funeral service, only a few words are being shared aloud. There is no long list of speakers, no extended eulogies designed for broadcast. A brief tribute touches on his love for his family, his pride in his grandchildren, and his deep connection to the New Zealand landscape. Another voice mentions how he could make a room feel lighter just by walking in, without needing to be the center of attention. These moments are not performed for an audience. They are simple, honest acknowledgments of a life that resisted spectacle even at the end. Outside that chapel, the reaction has been different. Across social media and in newsrooms around the world, people are sharing clips, stills, and personal memories of how his work touched them. Some talk about watching Jurassic Park as children and feeling safe because his character seemed so steady. Others mention discovering his smaller films later and realizing how much range he had. Industry figures post short messages calling him a true gentleman, a rare presence in an industry that often rewards the opposite. For the public, this outpouring becomes an unofficial memorial, millions of small, scattered tributes that replace the large public ceremony his family chose not to hold. The decision to keep the funeral private and to forego a public celebration of life has been widely respected. Fans may not have a central place to gather, but they have something perhaps more fitting for Sam Neill: the ability to remember him in their own way, in their own time, through the films and performances that meant something to them. A family statement thanked hospital staff for their care, asked for privacy during this period of grief, and made clear that more details about his final arrangements would remain limited. That request has been honored by most outlets, with coverage focusing on his work and his character rather than the specifics of the service. In the end, the farewell to Sam Neill mirrors the life he chose to live. He stepped away from the spotlight whenever he could, found his calm in soil and vines rather than premieres, and treated fame as a side effect of his work, not its purpose. A small chapel in New Zealand, a handful of people who knew him well, and a quiet committal away from the world's eyes is exactly the kind of ending he would have wanted. The noise of tribute belongs to the public. The silence of goodbye belongs to the family. Sam Neill, actor, storyteller, farmer, and a man who carried global fame with uncommon grace. His public funeral was, by design, not public at all, a private, understated ceremony in the country he loved, for a man who never wanted the fuss. Rest in peace, Sam Neill. Thank you for watching.